going to show you how to make apple cinnamon muffins. This is a good recipe to use if your apples have gotten past that crunchy phase and you don't really feel like eating them anymore. You can make them into apple cinnamon muffins and everybody will want some. For this recipe, you will need between 2 to 4 large apples, cored, washed and grated, or between 4 to 8 small apples. Same thing, washed, cored, and grated. You need to also put them in a sieve and let them drain. You don't want them to be too juicy when they go in or else the muffins won't work properly. Get a little bit of apple juice afterwards. You need 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, sunflower or canola, and 1/3 cup of milk. I've measured them both in here together. 1 egg, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We need 3/4 cup of sugar and 1.5 cups of flour. Yeah. So the first thing you need to do is put your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit so it can heat. You need to line 12 muffin tins, sorry, 1 muffin tin of 12 muffins with 12 muffin cups, paper cups. I have another one ready just in case it ends up taking more than 12. So after you have that all prepared, you have a large bowl and you need to put in together all the dry ingredients. So the flour, the sugar, and then the baking powder, cinnamon, and salt. So you whisk them all together until they're evenly mixed. You can already smell the cinnamon, it smells really nice. Oh, and you also need vanilla, we'll add that later. So at this point, we mix in the oil, the milk, the egg, and a teaspoon, or if you like a little bit more, of vanilla. Oh, I'll just put a little extra. So you need to mix the batter just until it's all damp. If you overmix it, the muffins will be really tough. You don't want that. Okay, so it's just damp. I don't need the whisk anymore. Clean it off with my fingers. And this is a point where you add the apples. And you just fold them in. The nice thing about this is if you go to the upwards portion, I put in 8 small apples. Most of the recipe is apple. So you can feel a little bit less guilty about having a muffin for dessert because you're getting a lot of apple in it, getting fruit. And you know because you've made it, not like when you buy something that says apple and you really have no idea how much is in there. Okay, so I've folded it. It's all just mixed in. I don't want to overmix. Gotta be a bit more careful. spoon these in. It says to fill up the cups till about 2/3. I like to take a serving spoon and a soup spoon, and I get a little bit more than 2/3. So I've filled the muffin cups more generously than 2/3, just because I didn't want to have just a couple from another whole muffin tin. I just have a little bit left on the bottom, so I'll be filling them into any of the ones that look a little smaller. I want to make them as even as possible. Okay. So I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to put them in. The rack is in the middle, putting them right directly in the middle of the rack. And it says to bake them between 20 to 25 minutes. Because I made them a little bit larger, I'm going to be putting it at 27. Actually, it's 400 degrees. Maybe I'll just be putting them at 25. And I'll wash my dishes while I wait for it to bake. Okay, so the 25 minutes I put it in for are about done. I've got some toothpicks ready to test the muffins with, and I've got my oven mitts ready. I'm just waiting for the little buzzer to go. Okay. So I'm just going to pull out the baking rack a bit and poke a couple of the bigger ones. There is some stuff on here. Let's see. A little bit more. So I'm going to put it in for another, I'd say, I don't know. I'm going to say another 4 minutes. So I put my muffins in originally for 25 minutes. Then I checked them and they weren't done yet and put them in for another 4. Checked them again and put them in for another 4. So they're finally done now. I think next time when I make them with so much apple and fill them to the top, I might put them in for 30 minutes right away. So I'm just going to let them cool down now, and then I'm going to enjoy them. Thank you.